Hey guys, welcome to Sexy and Smart. This is obviously episode 1, right? We've been really excited. I've been super excited for this to come out. I'm so excited to have one of my best friends here and asking me questions so, you guys can get to know. Obviously, this is my podcast. I'll be hosting it and I'll have people come in and talking about what it's like to be a sexy and smart woman. I'm so excited. So this is Paula and she's going to be taking it from here.
Hi, so Jade and I have been friends for a couple of years now, and I am so excited to be here because her transformation has been insane.
Oh.
I'm so proud of her, honestly, and she's definitely one of the most and ambitious and driven people that I've ever met. So I love that for you. So let's get started. So who is Jade beyond the aesthetic and the business?
So I think one of the things that I want to talk about is kind of how my transformation started, right? So obviously, I've always been super ambitious and I've always been into entrepreneurship and I've always wanted to create something for myself. Like I said, my mom, a lot of you guys don't know this, but my mom was actually the provider for my family. And we always had to fight for what we wanted, and my mom tried to give us everything that we wanted. Me and my siblings worked so hard to get anything that we ever wanted, Christmas-wise, birthday-wise, right? And we watched our mom struggle. So for me, I never wanted that to happen, and I was always when I was 14 years old, I actually started my first company, not an actual company, right? But I started my first gig and it was just social media marketing. I would go and knock on the doors of these smaller markets and boutique restaurants and just brands, right, in my small town in North Carolina. And I'd be like, hey, can you pay me money to market for my 8,000 followers on Instagram? And so I did, and that was my first gig, and I did that all throughout high school and into college. And I was literally I paid my friends to do it for me, and that's kind of how just my personal brand started. Throughout college, I kind of got lost because I moved to Miami when I was 17. I didn't really know kind of what I wanted in my business. I have a master's in marketing. I just didn't know what I wanted to do, and I kind of got lost because I surrounded myself with people and women who were, very body. And so that's what I kind of went into. I was modeling a lot, and I've always been into the modeling atmosphere, and I always loved taking pictures. I've always been super confident in myself and my body, and I work really hard for, my appearance. How just my personal brand came about was my ex-boyfriend at the time basically was I think you need to rebrand. I don't want my girlfriend doing that. And I respect that, right? I do. And I see that from the opposing side. And I met my mentor, and he was the one that was your community is everything. You love social media, so why don't you push yourself into a personalized agency? And that's kind of how your network is your net worth and your community is everything. And that's when I started just my personal brand.
And what do you mean by personalized agency?
So each person that we work with, right, we work with over 50 people now. Each person that we work with gets a personalized experience with branding, right? They either have startups, a new passion project that they're working on, a new business venture that they want to go into, and these people, right, have these huge companies already, or they don't, right, or they're just starting up, and they want to be branded as the CEO or founder. So that's what we do. It's very personalized. It's a one-on-one conversation that they feel between the CEO of the company, me, and the client. And I love the setup, and I love how they're not getting someone in the Philippines. They're not getting a chatter, right? They're getting the founder and the person and boss. So when there's a problem, there needs to be execution.
Mm-hmm. And so going back to basically when everything started, when did you first realize that you were ambitious?
Honestly, when I first realized when I was ambitious was when I was like, I want to make money. Like, I literally was like, I need to do anything in my power to like have this amazing life when I was literally like 14, 15 years old. I was like, I need to start somewhere. I need to start knocking on the doors of these agencies, these restaurants, these boutiques. And I was like, let's like run it, you know, like let's start this. And I literally have went through like 5 different companies, even when I worked here, right? Even when I worked at this magazine, I literally had Jade Marketing. I started a travel agency in one day. I was like, I knew this travel agent, she taught me everything, and then I had a concierge travel agency that I literally got branded for in one day. I'm very smart about executing things. I don't really have a plan in place, I just kind of do it, and that's my specialty. So that's why I have a great team that's full of creative minds and strategies, because I'm the execution part.
And then, so going back to basically like when you started and then you moved into like your college era and basically it was like all body, yaddy, yaddy, because that was your huge transformation.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt underestimated because of how you look or present yourself?
100%. So when I first started, so it went into Jade Marketing, which is SEO website development. It was small business marketing. It was very like limited, right? Our space was limited because I didn't have the knowledge that I know now. I didn't have the capabilities, the team. I didn't have that. So it was Jade Marketing as like 5 clients at a time, right? And when I did that, no one really I was working with business owners that didn't really have social media. And I was usually managing their website or, you know, creating a social media Instagram, but have no, you know, kind of correlation to me and my actual expertise, which is branding and social media. So when I did that, I never really thought about, oh, I should really watch what I post, right? That affects my company, because I only had 5 clients at a time. So when I really went into just my personal brand with like everything that I had, I was like, okay, so my ex-boyfriend, right, was telling me this. I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, well, maybe I should have a more professional era online, because I wouldn't want a half-naked girl on Instagram telling me what to do, right? Like, I wouldn't want a woman in a bikini telling me like how to represent myself, because that's not how I want to be represented. It was I was over-sexualized, and I didn't do anything about it, and that was the problem. So I respect, and I really do respect my ex-relationship a lot, because if it was not for someone to tell me how to kind of transform and be like an outside perspective telling me what to do, I probably would have been in the same era as I was then, because I'm very headstrong. So yes, a lot of times I was represented in a not professional manner, and that affected my company. But when I actually transformed and was like, yes, I am naturally going to be a little sexy, right? Like, I am sexy, but I also want to balance that smart component. So I really wanted that. I wanted to showcase, yes, I'm sexy, but I'm also smart, and I'm knowledgeable, and I'm successful. And I want you to see that all on my social media.
So that covers like the sexy part and the smart, of course. But not only is it rebranding, I feel like, but it's also how you said like execution. So what shaped your discipline and your work ethic?
Oh, when I stopped, right, modeling, it was like I have a goal, right? I had a lifestyle, right? I had to make, right, let's say $6,000 a month. I had to do that to cover my bills. So I was like, if this does not work, right, I'm digging into my savings and I can't do that. So I put in everything that I had. I flew my brother out. I was like, let's do this, right? Let's start this company. I was like, what should it be called, Connor, right? I'm like, what should it be called? I was drinking an energy drink. I was drinking a C4 energy drink. And he was like, well, that's just your personal brand. And I was like, okay, well, that's my company's name, just my personal brand. So that shaped my discipline and my work ethic, is literally just having an expectation of money, and I had to make that every single month. That was my what shaped me. My mom, seeing my mom successful, selfless, just put everything out there and just kind of like establish a presence when she had to step up. That was the most important thing about my whole childhood, is seeing my mom struggle and seeing her just work like 13 hours a day. My mom would wake up at 6, go on a 5-mile run, then go to work at like 7:30 and get home at like 9 o'clock. That woman she's my biggest influence. She's my motivation. Like, I need to retire her. She's my motivation.
What does sexy actually mean to you?
Okay, so sexy means to me, right, like you are confident in yourself, in your body, you work hard for your appearance, right? And, you know, you wear the bodycon dress. Like, you are going to wear the bikini. Like, you are going to be a little showy, and if it's a little provocative, like, it's okay, right? Like, we all have bodies. In Europe and Greece, like, it's okay to have your nipples out. Like, literally. No, seriously, like, it's crazy. And my mom is from Sudan and spent her whole life in England, and it was just like, how in the US, people are so close-minded, and I've noticed this. Like, how are you going to discriminate someone because they're confident, right? Even, like, I do a lot of events at high-end places like Ballman, Louis Vuitton, like Dolce & Gabbana, and you go into this room and these women just think that they have like power over you because they're wearing a $8,000 dress, right? And you might be wearing that Shein dress, and it's just like, money doesn't mean anything. Materialism is it makes life easier, but it does not have power over anyone. Like, it should not influence your decisions in a value-driven way, right? Your mindset should not change just because you get a little richer, you get a nicer car, you wear nicer clothes. Like, your mindset should always stay the same on what you value. So sexy to me is confidence.
And what does smart mean to you?
Smart is successful, it's knowledgeable, it's educated, showing up for your responsibilities, it's having priorities, right? It's not letting someone dictate, right? Like, they're not more powerful because they have a Harvard degree, right? Like, we're all very smart in our own ways, but it's how you balance it all, right? You gotta be street smart. You got to be educated about success. You got to want to evolve. You have to want to market yourself and be globalized, right? Like, you have to have it all. You can't just be, oh, I got a doctorate degree. That doesn't make you the smartest. It just makes you pinpointed on one specific industry, right? Like, surgeons are so smart, but in a different way than a lawyer.
And why do people struggle with women who embody both?
I think women who embody both are controversial. I think that when you have a sexy and a smart woman, you not only get, right, like, they're a lot to handle. When I walk in the room, like, people are like, okay, like, what is she doing, right? Who is this? I don't know, maybe it's because I'm almost 6 foot with heels on, but they definitely have something to say. Even when I had my little corporate era, right? Like, I would constantly feel like I was always like the target, right? Like, I always had something to say that might have been a little off-putting, right? And I didn't care about what I had to say. If I have something to say, I'll say it, right? I'm honest. So I think that when you are a sexy and smart woman, you balance it all, right? But you don't have an ego. You're just confident, and you know your boundaries and your values, and you want to be heard.
And that intimidates people that don't have that.
100%.
I think it's intimidating to people.
It is. And especially, it's living in Miami, right? I've seen a lot of women who are intimidated, and that's when they'll talk shit, right? That is when they'll make it in their head like, oh, I need to take her down. Like, I need to wish bad juju on her. I actually lost so many people in my life that were near and dear to my heart. And like, I genuinely thought I was going to have them as bridesmaids, and they did me so dirty. Like, they really did. And I'm not going to say what they did, but I do want to say I really, like, it showed me that once you move up in the world, right? Once you like move up in how you think, who you surround yourself with, you definitely will outgrow people. And it's up to you if you choose to outgrow them or if you choose to stay in that little bubble.
And have you ever felt pressured to shrink one side of yourself?
Oh, 100%. I went to a conference 2 weeks ago, and I felt like I could not be myself, right? Like, I genuinely couldn't say what I wanted to say, but I feel like when you stand for yourself, so like, just my personal brand is my company. When you stand with your company, you can say anything because it's your brand, right? If it represents you, you can say it. But when you're representing someone else's brand, that's when it gets a little harder. When you're in the rooms of people who don't necessarily have the same viewpoints, or you don't really know who they are, right? Even with my clients. I have so many clients that want to be friends. Like, they invite me to their birthdays. They invite me to their networking events. They invite me to their house parties. And like, with work, there is no easy way to balance your boundaries. Like, you have got to have boundaries when you are balancing professional and personal. You have to balance professional and personal. Like, there's no easy way to do that. So, yeah.
Like, they want that family discipline.
Yeah, I'm like, this is business. Just because I'm a little friendly does not mean that we're any closer. I just met you, and it was for a business purpose.
The tea.
Okay, let's do deep dive. Let's talk about it.
I'm ready. So why do ambitious women struggle in dating?
Okay, let's talk about it. So I'm gonna start and preface this by saying, women creators, like, like these, sexy models, right? Let's just say that. They make so much money, right? These women are making $300,000 plus a month, right? How is a man supposed to lead when this woman, right, can get anything she ever wanted, anything she ever desired, right? And then how is a man supposed to be like, oh yeah, baby, go get my coffee, go do the dishes, go clean my closet, like, right? A high value woman, a sexy and smart woman, has trouble balancing, I think, femininity from masculinity. I think that we embody both, right? We are this CEO energy, but yet soft, right? So I think for a lot of these women creators, it's going to be really hard for them to put that masculinity ego down and kind of be like, okay, I want to have a real love connection. So it's really hard for these women to kind of find someone who puts them in their place, but also leads, right? And so, for instance, even, right, I don't make $300,000, but for me, I can pretty much get whatever I want, right? Anytime. I can take I don't need a nice dinner, right? I don't need you to buy me a purse. I'm good. I don't need you to pay my rent. But in my past, right, I want a man to lead with me full-heartedly. I know you're busy, baby. Do you want to meet for coffee? Like, let's do 30 minutes, right? That's how I need him to lead. I know you don't have a meeting this day. Okay, I made us dinner reservations for this time. It's called leading. It's called being strong. And also, being back to the women creator topic, these women have 300,000 plus followers on Instagram. You cannot date an insecure man as a sexy and smart woman. It's not going to happen. You can't do it. Even, right, 30,000 followers. You cannot date an insecure man because they're going to see your likes. They're going to see your DMs. They're going to see, now, again, I've never cheated on any of my relationships ever. Not sexually, not texting a man, like never doing that in a provocative manner. But if you're dating an insecure man, he will bring out that side of you. Because when you date someone, right, they have to lead you. But if they're leading you with insecurities, with jealousy, with a strong head, that macho vibe, that's how you're gonna lead too. So I've learned, right, this is what I've learned. You can't have two machos in a room. You cannot have two machos, right? Like you're being with a CEO, entrepreneur woman, right? Who can pretty much is sexy and smart and can get whatever she wants and do whatever she wants, right? That's her mindset. But then you're also seeing a man who is very strong-minded, strong-headed, CEO probably as well, or business owner, whatever it is, day trader, whatever. He can get what he wants. There's so many women in Miami, like, you guys have to compromise in that era. A sexy and smart woman, you need a soft macho. That's what you need. You need someone being like, you know, guiding you, leading you, giving you the space that you need to be successful, but also growing with you as well, being like, baby, I think you should do like this for this client, or I think you should host an event here. I think it would be a great networking opportunity, right? Like I've been thinking about this and like he can help you with that, right? Oh, your dinner meeting tonight? I think let me get your dinner meeting. You know what I'm saying? Like just pushing you in the right direction, not being so insecure about like, oh, what are you doing at these meetings? Like, you know, like that should never be a thought in your head. If I'm with you, I love loudly, like I was saying. Like I want our lives to be integrated, and you can have platonic friends, right? As you've seen, you can have platonic male friends. My brother is one of my best friends, like, and we have the same friends. We lived in a very small town, like you know, like we all hung out. We all were invited to each other's birthday parties, and like when I'm home, I hang out. I've always struggled with having strong girlfriends because girls are jealous. Like I think you're genuinely one of the first people who aren't jealous, right? Or aren't envious. You never can have an envious friend, ever. And so that's why I always choose to have guy friends, because I was like, okay, not only are these my brother's best friends, but these are people who are never going to touch me or talk to me in a disrespectful manner because my brother would fuck them up. So anyway, so that's what I want. When I have a relationship, I want my boyfriend, my partner, my husband to be able to hang out with my guy friends, right? And like all of us hang together and there's no insecurity about it. It's just like everyone's having a good time. We all like each other, and that's what balance is. You don't need someone insecure in your life as a smart and sexy woman.
So this leads us to the next question. Do sexy and smart women intimidate men or filter them?
Okay, so you're gonna find out really quick if you intimidate a man, because then he'll start talking about money. Whenever I'm on a date or anything like that, you never talk about money, because that just doesn't. Who cares? Like, who cares how much you make, you know? But it's really important that you have boundaries. Like how you represent yourself is just like how you brand yourself. How you represent yourself as a whole is like, okay, she's pulling up in the black truck. That is an expectation already, right?
What does a healthy partnership look like to you?
Yeah, healthy partnership is a big one. As a sexy and smart woman, right, you have boundaries, you have expectations, and you have priorities, right? So during the week, my week looks like I cook myself dinner, right? I go to the gym every morning at 6:30. I'm in meetings pretty much all day, right? That's what my day looks like. My weekend looks like a little bit crazier, right? I'm going to brunch. I'm going to dinner. I'm going to a lounge, right? Nothing crazy, but there's got to be balance. I'm going on a trip. When you travel a lot, like, again, it's all about balance. And I think a really healthy relationship is also all about balance. He's got to fit your lifestyle. For instance, my last relationship, we had the best routine, right? We would wake up, we'd go to the gym, then we'd work all day, and then we'd go to dinner. Like, that is what a healthy relationship looks like, because you both fit each other's lifestyle. I think that's really important, fitting each other's lifestyle. I also think that he needs to respect you and respect what you do and respect your work and know your work. Know what you do. Know how you are. Like, in my last relationship, social media is literally a big part of my life, and he always wanted to change that. And that's so important. Like, he needs to respect you and support you and want to push you in every single direction. So if your biggest goal is social media, he should tell you post 5 times a day. He should tell you make content. He should push you in the right direction that you want to go.
So you keep mentioning a macho man. What does that mean?
So a macho man is literally what it sounds like, right? Like, a macho man, you think very like European, right? You think very strong-minded. You think of like those big guys, my type, right? My type is literally a macho man. He's tattooed, he's big, he's like likes to work out. He's like, he tells me kind of like he wears like huge chains. Like, that's literally my type, okay, in a nutshell. Preferably blue eyes, like very, very macho, right? However, you think the very successful Arab men. That's what you think, right? From Dubai, like that's what I think of a macho man. A macho man that wants a very traditional woman, okay? He wants a woman that's going to be like, oh, baby, do my laundry, done. Like, you know, he wants a very, not weak woman, because no woman is weak, but he wants a very soft woman, right? A woman who is a caregiver, a woman who naturally, like, buckles his shoe and his belt and, like, cooks him dinner every night. And, like, yeah, like, I can do that, right? I'm very feminine when it comes to my man. However, no man is going to tell me what the fuck to do. After I worked all day, right? I'm slaving away all day. You're not telling me what to do. You're not providing for me. What are you providing for, dinner? Okay, fine. We'll split it, right? Like, we need to complement each other. I recently signed on this amazing couple, and literally, they complement each other so well, right? If she's tired, he cares for her. If he's tired, she cares for him, right? It's all about balance. You never, like, you sacrifice things to make the other person happy, but it can't be so one-sided. Like, I'm sorry, if my man is like, yo, can you take out the trash or like cook me some dinner after I just walked in the door, I'd literally be like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, no, I'm sorry. So that is what a macho man is. You have to balance it. You cannot have two machos. Like I said, he's got to be soft. He's got to know and be in touch with his sensitive side 100%, and he's got to be a good listener. I've been struggling with that. I'm not a good listener. I literally think about what I'm going to say. If you're talking, I'm like, okay, I need to say this after she's done. It's a bad habit, I know, but yeah. I'm working on it. So, we can't have two bad listeners. 100% not. A relationship is a partnership, yes, but you don't want too much of a strong man as a sexy and smart woman.
And after working so much, like all day, and doing everything that you do, how do you maintain your feminine energy?
Okay, so feminine energy, right? I'm literally, when I work, right, I'm telling everyone what to do, where to go, what client needs to be shot today. Like, I'm busy, and I'm meeting, and I'm telling people what to do, and I'm being a boss, right? And when I come home to my husband, I want him to treat me like a princess. Even during the day, when I get on the phone, it should not be, why didn't you text me back? Why didn't you call me back? No. It needs to be, baby, are you thirsty? Do you need coffee? Like, that is what I want. I do not want a controlling and possessive man, like I was saying, right? I want a man to treat me like a princess. I want my man to literally provide and support me fully with his energy. Like I need to be his world. And he will be my world, but he's got to lead with that.
Okay. So let's move on to the next section. So who is this podcast really for?
This podcast is for any woman or man that feels like they want to be not in a specific category, right? Everyone's always trying to put you in a category. Oh, you're that gym influencer, you're that entrepreneur, you're the guy who drives the fast car, the Lambo, whatever. You're the girl that makes gym content, like you work a 9 to 5, you're a tech founder, whatever it is, right? You should never be in a category. You can do whatever you want. You could be many things, right? The definition of being sexy and smart is not putting yourself in a category, but it's creating a foundation for your brand, right? You are a brand. You don't need to be in a category. You could do it all. You could be that feminine, masculine CEO, do whatever you want, right? Like you can do it all. I keep saying that, but that's what I mean. I don't ever want someone to put you in a category. I recently got this comment and someone asked me, they're like, oh, you should model, right? I was like, I do model. And you know what? I do a bunch of other things too that are way better than that. I do so many more things that are better than modeling. And that's what pissed me off. I was like, that is literally the foundation of sexy and smart, because you can do it all. Like, I want to be the model. I want to be the bikini model. I want to be the entrepreneur. I want to be the CEO. I want to be the boss. Like, do it all. So that is who this podcast is for, is a woman or a man who wants to do it all and wants to just have a brand and be a part of many things.
So I've heard on social media that people say that you should choose a niche when you post content. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
I think, so one of the benefits or cons, if you like, however you look at it, right, is my personal brand is not about going viral. I do not support, like, I want my clients to go viral, but that is not the main goal. The main goal is to be branded in their authentic selves. You should do, like, if you are a tech founder and you love the gym and you also love playing the violin and you also own a suit company, right? You need to pick your funnel, but you can showcase everything online. You just have to build credibility. You have to build authority, right? So like whatever your funnel is, you back it up with the authority. You back it up with whatever component you wanna prioritize to make that funnel drive traffic. That's the whole thing. So I think, yes, if you're trying to go viral, pick a specific niche and post 6 times a day. Post 5 times a day. A lot of times when you're continuously posting, your posts aren't valuable, right? Because you continuously post 6 times a day. Post 1 to 2 times a day, right? Everyone will be like, wow, like I have not seen that before. If you continuously post the same thing over and over again, it will hit the algorithm, but it won't be as viral as you want it to be.
So basically like quality over quantity.
Exactly. That's what we strive for, and we thrive for a strategy. We strive for a strategy and being authentic. We don't want it to look stock. A lot of times if you look, right, everything's becoming organic now. That's what it's going to shift into. It's not going to be like, oh, this high quality production like looks so good. It looks great. It should be in a movie, not on social media. Social media was meant to be organic.
So when it comes to your clients, what kind of community do you want to build for them?
I want to build a community that supports their needs. Their needs being, right, if they are in the funding phase, I want them to be able to ask for funding. If they are in raising capital or needing a recruiter or needing financial advisors for their business, I want them to be able to reach out and be like, hey guys, this is blank here and I need this. Like, they need to be able to do that, and that is what's special about having a community, right? Like, I was looking for a sponsorship for one of my clients, posted it on LinkedIn. The next day, they got a sponsorship. Literally just like that. And it's so important for you to have that base community. That's why, just my personal brand, we work with a ton of freelancers across the whole United States and also in London and Dubai. And we work with them and we use them as our videographers and our photographers, and they're our hands. They're our hands when we can't be there, right? I can't be in a million places at once, but I want to touch a lot of people. So we use other people, and that's what a community is about.
So with this podcast, what kind of room are you looking to build?
I literally just want to have a room that embodies sexy and smart, or handsome and smart people. I want you to embody everything that you ever dreamed in your future self, and I want you to put it out there on social media and be super authentic and build a brand of your own.
And what do you want women and men to walk away understanding?
I want them to understand that you can do all things. You can be whoever you want to be. You can dress however you want to dress with boundaries, okay? Don't be showing yourself half naked if you want a CEO title, right? You can't do that. You cannot do that. Don't be saying some out-of-pocket stuff for your reputation and expect everyone to be like, oh yeah, they're super professional. No. Control yourself, okay? Everything in moderation is amazing. Control yourself, be mindful of your reputation, and do it and execute it. Execution is everything. You need to execute your goals. That's the only way you're going to succeed. If you have ever felt like you are too much and you don't fit into a box, you don't fit into a category, I want to tell you that you're not, and you are sexy and smart, you are handsome and smart, you're beautiful inside and out naturally. You don't need any outside environmental factors. You are come as you are into this room and be amazing. Be confident and be yourself. Be sexy and smart.